Douglas Lawson,
Here.
Attorney Chris Smith with Pittman Law Group, Executive Director Jadel Mercius, Director of Neighborhood Services Anita Jenkins, Interim CRA Clerk Shirley Desir.
Thank you. We will have a moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner Spiritus.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any additions, deletions, or substitutions for this agenda before us this evening? If there are none, are there any disclosures by commissioner or staff in regards to these items? Can I get a motion?
Yes.
Okay.
Madam Chair, yes, one of the items on this agenda, I know Shedrick is a nice young man, but I know him from the past and I've spoken to him before. I just want to put that on the record.
Okay, thank you. Any other disclosures? Can I get a motion to adopt the agenda?
So move.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Davis Panir,
Yes.
Commissioner Guyton,
Yes.
Commissioner Spiritus,
Yes.
Chair Lanier.
Yes,
That motion carries 4-0.
thank you. The consent agenda is next. Do we have any comments for the consent agenda?
No.
Routine board business. The consent agenda is approved by a single majority vote. Items may be removed for open discussion at the request of any Riviera Beach Community Redevelopment Agency Commissioner. Are there any objections to the consent agenda? Can I get a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Davis Panir,
Yes.
Commissioner Guyton,
Yes.
Commissioner Spiritus,
Yes.
Chair Lanier.
Yes.
That motion carries 4-0.
Thank you. Next item, Madam Clerk, presentations.
Presentation, Black Business Association of Riviera Beach. The acceptance of public comment cards are now closed. Madam Chair, we do have one comment card.
Okay. Ms. Jenkins, Mr. Mercius.
Chair. Good evening, good afternoon to everyone. I'd like to bring Shed Lang up for his portion of this business presentation. I wanted to start off by saying that the reason why Mr. Lang is presenting in front of the board is to more or less give an update on where he had, what progress he has made within this initiative. Upon coming to Riviera Beach in the CRA, I noticed that there was a necessary requirement for me to understand the lay of the land. And one of the pieces that I wanted to do was work within someone who's been within the business scene, and he understands the business community, recruiting businesses, recruiting business development for that community, understanding certifications, getting those certifications going, specifically within our business CRA. I wanted to hit the ground running with specific items that I wanted to address, and Shed has given a scope of work and a presentation of work that I believe is admirable for his efforts, and I would like to showcase that. And I also want to get the appetite of the board as well. Making sure that this is consistent within the CRA. I also wanted to see what the appetite looked like as we move forward with Mr. Lang. So, Mr. Lang, if you can, yes, please.
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
and thank you. And I also wanted to kind of echo those sentiments and thank Director Jadel, Ms. Jenkins, and the staff for actually partnering and bringing this young man to the city. I've seen the work that he's done firsthand in the private sector and working with the businesses, and I was excited to kind of advocate and support this venture and see that we have to have a clear decision and direction as to how do we support local businesses, small businesses. The national conversation is detracting us from saying minorities, blacks, and women. So we have to really address that, and we have to be intentional with it. And I think this is how we can intentionally do that, by supporting our local conversation and our local businesses here. My approach is that I could care less what the national conversation has to say. I've seen the work that Shed has done, and I'm proud to stand with him and support him in regards to this venture. So thank you, and I'm excited to see what more you can bring.
Well, thank you, thank you. Well, first off, good evening, distinguished council people. Welcome and congratulations to your winning your seat, and Bruce Guyton as well. So congratulations. Also, good evening to all of the council people, also CRA director and Ms. Jenkins and everyone here today in the community. Thank you for being here today. So again, my name is Shed Lang. I am the owner of Lang Enterprises, operating as the Black Business Association of Riviera Beach. So before I go on to my presentation, I want to kind of let you know how I got here, okay? I worked for AT&T for many years, and most of my interactions with the city was through that, me being employed by this AT&T. Many of your first responders, many of your staff utilize AT&T as a service provider, and I was the account manager. So also I lived here. I had some type of connection through the city, and so I felt that through that connection, I wanted to continue that. Once I left AT&T in 2021, I decided to open a business here because of my connections here. I thought it just made sense because it's a community that I really admire and I thought was great. Also, am a resident here as well. So I want to use my investments. After I left, I saved quite a bit of money and I want to open a business here. So once I opened the business, again, it was literally overnight. I didn't put much thought into it. I was laid off at AT&T. I said, you know what? I got a few bucks in the bank. Let me open up something. I am not a cook. I wasn't gonna have y'all talking about me, but I know I wanted to open a restaurant, so I'm very, very creative. So what I did was open up a sub shop, and so I just started the process, and I just began getting information, looking for location, and everything like that. So as I started the journey of opening it, I realized a lot of things were out of order. So, funny story, I was on the phone with one of the employees, and I was just beginning to talk about some of the frustrations I had about not getting my paperwork done and stuff like that. And she says, people actually come up here and they don't have their permit, they don't have their paperwork done right. And it was silence because that was me. I didn't do anything right. I just thought maybe I'm gonna open up a business. That's how it goes. Just open up, just pick a spot and you open up a business. That was my ignorance. But again, through the connections that I made, she was able to offer some assistance. And I will tell you, the process went pretty smoothly. And I was able to open up my sub shop. But while I was at the sub shop, I felt that I still didn't have all the necessary resources to be successful. I needed more. So I went out and started researching things, and I said, you know what? Now I understand how things should go. And while I was there, a lot of small business owners would come to my shop and they would ask me questions. After I learned a lot, they would ask me questions. And what I did was I opened up my sub shop as like a training center. It started out with 3 people, then it grew to about 50. And I say, wow, I'm really onto something because I realize that people really want to do business, they just don't know how. So I started passing on this information and all the knowledge that I had obtained. So that is why I started Splang Enterprises in the Black Business Association of Riviera Beach to address those questions that they had. So that's why we're here. So I'm going to move on to the next slide. So recently we celebrated a soft grand opening. It wasn't major because I partnered with the Minority Business Development Agency, and due to their timing, they wanted some type of uh, something on the books because, as you all know, their department was under attack by Doge, so they wanted to get something on the books. So I organized a soft opening, and that's what we did. It's pretty much for pictures, and so that she can go back and show the work that she's doing. So we got it open. It was hugely successful, and they were very excited about the opportunity. So again, Splang Enterprises started right here at Riviera Beach. So I became a consulting firm because again, I was consulting a lot of small businesses who needed help. who wanted to be entrepreneurs and open up businesses here in the city. And the mission became to develop a pipeline of certified, prepared, and capable business endeavors. Because we want to be able to make sure they're ready to go. I didn't want them to experience what I experienced and not know how to go through the process. So there's a reason why I opened up my shop that way. My focus is business development, certification support, strategic partnerships, and placement of economic development projects. So with the Found Care project going on, the marina development, I want to make sure people are in a position to take advantage of those projects through certification, through training, and so forth and so on. So the scope of work, this is the agreement that I have with the CRA to deliver resources to small, minority, and disadvantaged businesses. And to do that, we were to prepare businesses for tenancy and then manage retail, CRA managed retail and office spaces. So my vision was to make sure that when these places open, that you'll have a pipeline of people ready to occupy these spaces. And we would do that through support from the CRA's long-term development projects, like the Found Care and the Marina projects. And what we would do is provide one-on-one consultation, certification assistance, and resource navigation. So when those folks do call us, I know exactly where to send them, okay, to get assistance. Okay, so here are the business services that we provide. So when I do an intake on these clients, we guide clients through funding applications, secure capital for growth, and that's when I contact my resources like the BBIC, Valley Bank, Thayer Sullivan, and so forth and so on. Through business training, education, workshops, and one-on-one sessions to strengthen operational knowledge and business skills. I have partnered with several different organizations like the Office of Equal Business Opportunity to provide those services, which is it's very important. Many people do not realize the type of assistance they can receive by being certified, especially through the county level, through the Office of Equal Business Opportunity with Tanya Davis Johnson, on the state level, and on the federal level. I have created major partnerships with folks that can provide services in each one of those capacities. Um, Technical assistance via those partnerships that we just talked about, Office of Equal Business Opportunity, um, ADP, and MBDA. To date, I have helped numerous customers. I just want to go back a little bit. These are the people that I've helped since opening over at Berkeley Landing. But prior to this, I'm proud to say that I helped more than over 50 business owners become certified. Some of these clients are continuing customers who need additional levels of certifications and assistance. But these are clients that I'm currently helping. They're all at various stages of their operations, and I'm continuing to help them all. As part of my agreement and as part of my mission is to help propose projects and to see opportunity. And I present these opportunities and ideas to the CRA. And I would go out, just like recently, Friday, I went to the International Franchise Association event and I was able to make connections and I would share that information to Mr. Mercius and Mrs. Jenkins. So that is part of my responsibility. On the tiki market, I made some recommendations for that because that is a great project and I would love to see that continue. And also I made some partnerships with the Co-America Incubator Space as an incubator space that I think that you all I would encourage you to go see it because it's a great opportunity. And there's a lot of ability there to help the small businesses. Okay, so here are the partnerships that I talked about earlier. The Minority Business Development Agency, that's Marie Gill and Associates. Office of Equal Business Opportunity through Tanya Davis Johnson. Walden University is offering free and discounted classes through members of the BBRB and the City of Revere Beach, or business owners in the City of Revere Beach. ADP Small Business Solutions, I made a partnership with them as well to offer discounts and products for small businesses. Again, the IFA Minority Franchising Program, I'm in talks with them to come do a small event here to talk about the opportunities that people could have, business owners. The PBIA certification program. I'm not sure if you all know this, but the PBI has a minority participation goal, and through that, I was able to make some connections, and so I'll be able to provide the assistance to business owners who would need some assistance in that regard. Our vision forward: continue to build sustainable business ecosystem in Riviera Beach, create a robust pipeline of new and existing entrepreneurs. And again, since I've opened, I'm seeing a lot of people who are coming through my offices that are needing help and that wants to do business in Riviera Beach. Ensure equitable access to space, resources, and long-term economic success. And again, thank you. I appreciate your time. If you have any questions,
Chair, I'd like to also add the initiative with Smoothie Me. There was an initiative when I first got here with Smoothie Me. And one of the things I felt like it was a great initiative, first and foremost. Bringing in someone from the neighborhood, getting them started, getting them in the space, getting them going for business. I thought that was a tremendous opportunity. But one of the things I felt like that lacked with that program was a providing of metrics. So what happened after the fact? What worked? What didn't work? How much hand-holding did a business need to continue the support from the CRA? And when do we let go? So I wanted to, use Shed as well in that respect, where we have businesses that are coming in, and once those businesses get started, what are those metrics that we measure specifically in terms of business development and how to retain businesses, recruit those businesses, but keep them here for a long-standing term within the business community? So I'd like to see Shed complete that as well as an extension of the CRA and use his services for that as well. Thank you.
Chair.
Thank you. Yes, go ahead.
Uh, Shedrick, we're all proud of everything that you've been able to accomplish here in the city, and we thank you for staying here and believing in your community. I would like to suggest that you move a step further rather than just becoming certified, that you assist our small businesses with the SBA 504 program and other programs. You can work with SCORE, FAU, and the SBA have a program. They're all free and they'll work with you. So I think you ought to include them in your team and in your consulting so that we can help those people who have already passed the certification process and move a step further.
well, thank you. So I'm glad you brought that up. So I've been talking to Tanya Davis Johnson at the Office of Equal Business Opportunity, and we're getting ready to create a presentation of what's next. Now that you're certified, what's next? What can we do to help launch you? Not only provide you that certification, but a lot of people get their certification, and some of the feedback, and I'm sure Chandra hears this as well, that I got my certification, but no one calls me, so we want to talk about enhancing those opportunities. And yes, I have built relationships with SCORE and those other agencies, SBA, and the folks out of the FAU campus down there. I speak to them a lot as well because I utilize their services, so I know how valuable they are. Yes.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Sorry, Dr. Spirit, you complete? Done with the comments?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. And Director Mercy has hit it on the head. One of the issues that we talked about from this dais was that we didn't provide enough supports for our incubator program for Smooth Me Please. So building this capacity, because our CRA is already stretched and limited to where they're addressing slum and blight. So having that consultant come in that can build capacities, provide support, constant contact, and also continue to build out the networking, the licensing, and the support that they need to help elevate them, the SBA certification. So keep growing, keep building, and keeping that point of contact. Ms. Jenkins has done a great job with the small business development, certifying them, announcing them, giving them exposure. but to continue to hold their hand and push them forward. Because the biggest issue I have from the development community, when the builders come into the city, they say we don't have individuals that can complete the jobs. We don't have capacities. We don't have individuals that are certified or have bonding. That's where we need somebody to oversee that process to elevate the business community here so we can address the economics of our community, to allow for them to be able to do the job necessary when developers need people to actually be in construction, development, consulting, and any type of restaurateurs. So thank you again, Shed. I appreciate the presentation and what you brought.
I just want to say that, first off, thank you, Doug, for your continued support over the years. We had a minority business event, last year. I think it was hugely successful. It only confirmed that we need to do a lot. There's a lot of work to do. And I'm here, I'm ready, and I'm ready to go. I have a few clients here that I'm assisting, and I just want to say that, the passion and the drive and just to hear them talk about wanting to do business in Riviera Beach only drives me and pushes me to work even that much harder to help those folks because of what I've learned over the years. And I will tell you that the lessons that I've learned are invaluable over these past few years that I've been doing business here in Riviera Beach. I do not regret my decision at all. I would tell you that. And when people come to me and say, oh, Riviera is hard to deal with, no, they're not. Once you know what I know, it goes a little bit smoother. And I would tell you that my experience is definitely vastly different from some other folks that I've talked to, only because now I know what I know. Had I known then what I know now, it went even much smoother. So I want to pass on that information to other folks so that way they know how to navigate through this process and make it easier. And so far, so good. You can see that since this presentation, I've added about 5 more people who came and said, I heard you helping folks. And I said, yes, so sit down, let me help you through the hand holding process to guide them through this process. So yes.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So, Mr. Lang, I just want to say thank you for your commitment to this. I've always told my students preparation plus opportunity equals success. And I do believe that we need to prepare our businesses, our local businesses, for the development that's coming ahead. We want to make sure that they're in line for some of these opportunities, these business opportunities. So whatever you need as far as support, please let me know. I did get a card from, I think it was the North County Chambers with a FAU a person that I think would be a great person to collaborate with.
Okay.
So I'll get that for you because I thought of you. And what is Pastor Collymore's location?
Dominion, yes.
Thank you. And
She's also one of my clients as well.
Yes, so I actually saw her at the prayer that event that we had, and I gave her a picture of the card. So I wanted to also share that with you. So keep up the good work.
Well, thank you.
I have a couple of questions, and it has to go to the deliverables that were listed. So the presentation that you just gave us, is this an extension of your previous contract, or is it with the current contract, February 15th through May 15th?
Okay, you saying the deliverables? I'm sorry, what was your question again? I'm sorry.
So I'm asking, is this presentation a part of your current contract or a part of your previous contract?
It's current.
Okay, so I wanted to ask about the businesses that were assisted. I'm trying to get an idea when it comes to methodology and when it comes to measurable outcomes. I like to know how it actually happens. So,
Madam Chair,
yes,
just wanted to let you know that I am on the line.
okay. Please note that Commissioner Anderson, Miller Anderson, is on the line. I wanted to ask in regards to the deliverables that from your previous contract, when it talks about 80% of those clients developed a business plan. How do you measure that? You get a copy of the plan and you present it to, okay, and then so 70% of these clients gain financial literacy to manage business finances. How do you measure that?
So currently, most of those folks that I'm helping are enrolled in the Common Sense Boot Camp through the CRA. So they're receiving that assistance right now. As many of them will be graduating next week. Am I right? Next week. So they will have those resources available to them, and that would be that will definitely fill that 70%.
Okay, so that measurement for financial literacy is through the boot camp.
Yeah.
Okay, so 80% complete the Demand Star vendor registration process. How do you measure that?
How do I measure? So basically, I keep track of where they are because everyone that comes into me are at different stages. Everybody's not at the beginning. Some
No,
are.
no, no. I'm just saying because I'm looking at the deliverables, and I just like to know how these things are measured based on the fact that you said that 85% completed the demand star vendor registration process. How do you know that? How do you measure that?
Through my one-on-one assistance, I sit there with them and we do that right there on the spot. I don't just give them a guide. So when they're there, we complete all their registration, everything is done. And I keep track of all those things.
Okay, so you sit down with them, you do the
Yes,
registration.
ma'am.
Okay, very
Yes,
good.
ma'am.
Um, it says of the 18 clients that you assisted, did 50% apply to become subcontractors for the city projects?
Yes, so I do have a few of them right now. As a matter of fact, I sent an RFP over to Ms. Toussaint to have her review it with one of the clients. I also have another client through sent by Mayor Lawson's office, Shane Leonard of Priority Landscaping. He's also applying to is being prepared to submit a RFP as well.
Okay, and there's some other deliverables, and I'll get with Mercius to see how that is actually measured because I'm very concerned about making sure that when you say 85% of something, that I know how you actually got to that, how it's measured. Like you said, what about the vendor process that you sat with them, and
Yes,
then you
ma'am.
know that they've completed it based on right.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what I'm
Yes,
looking
yes,
for.
yes.
That's
So that's part of what my commitment is to give them that one-on-one guidance. I
right.
just don't want to hand them a piece of paper and say, "Now go do
Right.
it."
No, I understand. I just
Mhm.
want to make sure that it's measurable,
Yes,
that we
ma'am.
could,
Yes,
that
it
we
is.
know that when we look at your stats, that you got it because you sat down with them one on one, and that's how you know that they did the process.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. There's a public comment that we need to take down.
Nakisha Freeman.
Okay.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and everyone on the dais. I am Nakisha Freeman, born and raised in Riviera Beach, and I reside in National Village. I am the executive director and founder of Freepreneurs Inc., a mentoring organization, and our number one goal is bra fittings and the distribution of new bras and hygiene items for at risk teens that come from financially challenged households. When I became aware of the incubator program being offered by the city of Riviera Beach, I inquired and have had the pleasure of working with Shed Lane, owner of the Black Business Association of Riviera Beach. My office is currently in Palm Beach Gardens, but he knows that I would love to come back home and serve the girls here in the city that I was born and raised in. He has been assisting me with finding a location in the CRA district, and I am certain that I will find the perfect location to continue serving in the community for our girls. Thank you.
Thank you. Could you come back and give us your contact information? I like that idea of giving undergarments for young girls.
My contact is 561-320-1002. You can also email me at info@freepreneurs.org, or you could do a site visit to see how the office looks and what we actually do at 3450 North Lake Boulevard, Palm Beach Gardens, Suite 270.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any more questions?
No, I want to check you out.
Okay, thank you.
Excuse me. Good gracious. Um, Commissioner Guyton.
Mr. Lane, yes, could you come back, please?
Yes, sir.
First, thank you for what you're doing, badly needed in our community and other communities as well. Um, there were two certifications up there that were transportation related.
Yes.
The one with PBI,
Yes.
PBIA, and the DBE.
Yes.
Um, the and let me say this: those certifications can be used nationwide.
Yes, sir.
Um, they have a small process where you would fill out some paperwork in a different state and become certified. But once you get certified here in Florida, it's easy to get certified in other states. I'm a DBE certified.
So you know the process.
Yes, I went through
You know
everything.
how that can be a deterrent to a lot of people.
Yeah.
The paperwork is very intimidating, but
Yeah, the challenge is that certification is required in order to compete for those. They're actually federal dollars that come down from the Department of Transportation. So my question is, who do you work with to assist your clients in those two certifications? I went through FDOT when I got
okay.
mine.
So Broward County is a certifying agency.
Yep, that's
I
right.
have direct contact with those folks. I have direct phone numbers, emails. As a matter of fact, they told me whenever someone submit an application to please reach out to them so they can expedite that application.
Good. The last thing too, the same thing that the young lady just did about contact information. Could you repeat your contact information, please?
Yes. So my phone number is 561-603-8887. I am in the Berkeley Landing Live workspace, thanks to the CRA. You can come visit me anytime, Monday through Friday. You can walk in 9 to 5, Monday through Friday.
Okay. For the viewers, I wanted them to have another opportunity to get your information. That's all I have, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. So, Mr. Mercius, I just wanted to make sure that when these contracts are done, that there's a methodology listed to let us know how they actually got to 85%. Not how they got there, but actually proving that. In terms of he's saying that the vendor registration process that he sat with them so he can check that off, or with the business plan, he presented the business plans to you. That's how you know. I need to make sure that those methodology is a part of the contract because I need to know how they got there. People can just say, 85% or 80%, but I want to make sure we get to the point where we know exactly what that is and how we measure that.
Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Understood.
Okay, very good. Any other
I just
questions?
I just want to point out
Madam-
something. Can I?
Oh, hold on one second, sir.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Miller Anderson, do you have any comments?
Chair?
Okay,
Now, as we finish off this item, okay, here we go.
yes, go ahead. Yes, we can hear you now.
I'm actually just trying to listen right now to kind of hear what has already been discussed, so I'm not being redundant when I do speak. So will speak before you terminate the item.
Okay, very good. Go ahead, sir.
Chair, as we continue to focus on this initiative, I'd like to have one-on-one discussions with each of you as far as how we continue to move forward with the business development initiative. This is one of several initiatives that we're looking to take place throughout the CRA as we focus on business development, recruitment, different strategies. So I like to present those things to you, and I like to sit down and discuss with you on a one-on-one basis.
Very good.
Andrew?
Yes, go ahead.
And that was going to be my follow-up. As we're preparing for budget season and as we're looking to build out our incubator space at the Found Care space, we need to start building this product. So this pilot product is excellent. So it can be a kickstart to what's coming. The business development community is going to try to say that we don't have capable businesses to be able to handle the onslaught of the development that's coming to the CRA in the city. We need to prepare them. And we need to be intentional about that. So again, thank you, and let's keep building on it. And then let's talk about what does this budget look like, so that when the budget comes back before us, how can we actually fund and support this type of business and other businesses to support small businesses? Because that's our concern. Our only role is to pass a balanced budget, but we need organizations like this that can come in and help support the business community in our area. So thank you, and Mr. Mercius, I look forward to seeing how we can incorporate this into our budget to support these projects. Thank you, sir.
I just want to say that contractually, I am obligated to, I think, 5 to 10 clients. I've far exceeded that number. And so the 85% would be of those 5 clients. that I'm contractually obligated. So I've far exceeded that. I keep a file on each one of those clients, and I will be more than prepared to show you those clients that have registered and are in the process.
And I just showed them right there, that's fine.
I'm sorry?
Just show him, that's fine.
Okay, okay, no problem.
All right, thank you so much for your
Thank you.
presentation, sir.
Okay, no problem.
Can we move on to the next item? I'm sorry, before we move on, Commissioner Miller Anderson.
Hi, thank you. Obviously, I didn't hear all of the item. I apologize for coming on late, but what, what was the purpose of us having this discussion? What are we doing with the presentation?
Good afternoon, Commissioner, well, Chair.
Good
Go ahead.
evening.
Good afternoon, Commissioner Mel Anderson. The intent basically I wanted to showcase first and foremost what Mr. Lang has been doing within the community in terms of business development and recruitment and getting specific entrepreneurs started within the Riviera Beach landscape of the business. Also, I wanted to understand the business more, and I feel like Shed Lang has put in that work. He understands the community, putting forth the effort beforehand, before this contract was even established. I wanted to understand where he stood with businesses and how those businesses would receive the CRA if we were to go ahead and develop a specific program. And I'm going to reiterate something that I spoke on with the board beforehand. We had an initiative earlier that was a focus on developing a small business, and that small business was essentially a pop-up. And within that pop-up space, we didn't have any metrics or deliverables or data to come across and capture more businesses based off of that one project. So I wanted to not only bring in businesses, but retain businesses and understand how to retain businesses within the community, what those businesses needed, what there were shortfalls on, and how we can continue to help those businesses as we continue to grow within our city.
Okay, so, but going forward after tonight, what are we looking to get an extended
Moving forward,
contract? I mean, what are we doing?
well, his contract right now is up. So we
Right,
would,
right.
right, and we would essentially look to if we decide to move forward with Mr. Lang's services, we'll sit down and through the direction of the board. As I stated earlier, I like to sit down and have one-on-one meetings with each of the board members to discuss their appetite for this specific item. And I would like to also additionally sit down with Mr. Lang to see if we can perhaps strike something. He is also a part of the Black Business Association of Riviera Beach. He heads that program. So perhaps in some capacity, we can do work as an extension with the CRA, with the Black Business Association. But yes, absolutely, there will be a direction that will be identified after this meeting.
Chair?
Okay, and so, the conversation I had with you earlier, it was more so just trying to make sure that we have an open and honest, transparent process for it, right? I know Ms. Lang has definitely been there with the association, but we just want to make sure that we're able to give everyone an opportunity. So is this going to be, we're just going to go with his organization, or are we looking to put it out there and see, are there others who have been working with people in the community?
Thank you for that question, Commissioner. I like to at least sit down with the board on a one-on-one basis and gather their opinions, gather what
Okay.
they feel about this specific item before I make that decision on whether or not we move forward exclusively with Mr. Lang.
Okay, and the way in which, how did we get here, I guess, what occurred to have the contract drawn up to do that, have him do the work initially?
So absolutely, Commissioner. Initially, about coming here with the city, I discovered that there are some gaps when it came to business development, business recruitment. I wanted to bring somebody in within the city that understand the business community. I started Googling names, understanding specific people. Shed Lang's name continued to come up. Even upon Googling, I saw a Palm Beach Post article that he was a part of in 2000, I think 21 or 2022, where it discussed about specific businesses in Palm Beach, in Riviera Beach that needed to thrive. And one of the things that stuck with me when Mr. Lang said it was this community is a great community. It's a business community and it's a viable community. I wanted Shed to showcase that, and I believe Shed can showcase that within this contract. He showcased that already. And I wanted to make sure that within this business community, we all saw, or at least saw his efforts through the board and understood where we stood with that.
Okay. The 90 days, I don't have it in front of me right now, but the companies that he worked with, was it all of them that were listed in the presentation?
Commissioner Miller, well, I'm sorry, Chair.
Yeah, I can't, we can hardly hear you, Commissioner Bill Anderson.
Okay, I'm right here, trying to back in and talk, but I gotta hold the phone for a second. Did you work with all of them?
Oh, that's even worse.
That's the
That's, yeah, we can't hear you,
Can
well.
you hear me? Can you hear me?
Try it one more time.
Hello, are you able to hear me?
Okay, that's a little better.
Okay. What I said was, did he work with just 10 businesses, or was there another amount of people that he worked with listed in the presentation?
Okay, Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
In his presentation, I don't want to speak for Mr. Lang, but in his presentation, he showcased, I'd say, over 10 businesses that he's at least been in consultation with in terms of getting them started, getting them into a storefront, getting them into a base, getting them certified, different capacities, but he's been in contact and he's got started more than 10. But I'm also challenging him. I understand that the contract says 10, but I'd also like to see other services within that contract. And we're still discussing things, even though it's outside the contract, of how we can create more deliverables within our business community.
I'm getting ready to walk in, so if you all wanna, can you just give me a second to get through security?
Thanks for the
So that I
announcement.
All right, very good. We'll
Did you
wait
hear
till you
me?
get, we'll wait till you get here, Commissioner
Okay.
Miller Anderson. Sorry, Commissioner Spears, did you have something before she gets in?
Yes, Chair. Jadelle, all I request is that you don't use your pen, the amount of money that you can spend to try and circumvent the procurement process and coming to this board for an actual contract. Please come to the board and make your presentation and let us vote on a contract.
Every contract that, Chair?
Yes, sir.
Sorry about that. Every contract that's pertinent with the CRA, that involves the CRA, especially projects large or small, will go through the CRA board in some capacity when it comes to contract dealings.
Thank you.
Thank you. You can have a seat, Mr. Lang. I think that Ms. Miller Anderson may have another question, but I'm not sure. There she is. Do you have any additional questions? I know, we got it mixed up. I know, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. We got it mixed up. Do you have any other questions for Mr. Lane?
It wasn't so much with Mr. Lane, I was just trying to understand how did we get here?
Right.
Because I wasn't aware of it being advertised or to get other people involved. And so I was trying to find out how did we arrive to this point? But I understand, if I heard correctly, that if we're going to be continuing to move forward, we're looking for people to assist. We'll have a discussion about that.
Yes, we will. And not only with Mr. Lang Services, this will be more or less a bifurcated effort. We'll continue with other resources such as SCORE. SCORE is we've already been in consultation with SCORE, getting them started here in the community. Discussing with Mr. Lang, discussing with different colleges about small business enterprises, things of that nature, to continue the discussion about business improvement districts and who we need at the table for that. So we will continue the conversation when it comes to business development, and it won't just be through his services.
Are we utilizing, how much involvement have we had with the business 6-week boot camp that we do with Miss Anita Jenkins and Comerica? Is that a part of this? Were any of those people, I think I heard, came on,
Yes,
maybe you
so,
said some of those people were a
yeah,
part of it?
everyone that came through me registered for that class. Up until
Okay.
that point, I've taken on more clients that are not part of that class because had already started, but anyone up to that point did register for that class. It was kind of like a requirement of mine for me to assist further.
All right, and so do we have any documentation of the work that was performed? I know you were talking about the metrics. I think I came on when you were talking about the metrics. Is there any data to support what was accomplished and all of that? And I apologize, I may have missed it.
Yes, so I would provide updates throughout my contractual term, and I do an intake form and I collect documents, and I've created folders for each of these clients. So at any time anyone wants to see them, they're available for inspection. Yes.
All right, well, I look forward to the conversation. I was not, I wasn't really sure of what we were doing with this presentation. Were we looking to extend the contract?
No.
Were we looking to, expand this so we
Right.
can bring in more people? And just make sure that we're being transparent about the entire process. So that's pretty much where I was with it.
Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, Commissioner. Will do.
Thank you.
Sorry. So, in future, make sure that the board is aware of these contracts before they actually happen. I understand that you have to, procure something quickly sometimes, but the board should be aware of these. And make sure also that when we do these type of contracts, that they are put out, that they are solicited, that people other than one person could be able to get involved. And that right there keeps down confusion in terms of that. And then also to add the methodology and the metrics to any deliverables that we have with these contracts.
Chair?
Yes, thank you.
Noted, yes.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Madam Chair, one
Yes,
more
go
thing.
ahead.
So with it was 90 days, the contract was for 90 days for 24,000?
Yes.
Okay, and the contract was drawn up, I mean, obviously legal helped out with that. I just noticed that within the proposal, a lot of the wording was like copy paste from the proposal to the contract. So was the contract written to be in line with the proposal, or was the proposal written in line to be with the contract?
Well, we've developed and,
Yes, you can go ahead, Mr.
so,
Smith.
I'm sorry, Madam Chair. We've developed a standard contract, so that we're dealing with the same contract every time. And what we normally do is take from the proposal as to the deliverables and put into our standard contract. So that's why you see some of the copy pastes is to try and keep us with a standard contract so we know what's in them at all times and we don't have, 50 different contracts at all times.
So, Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
So you take the information from the proposal and create the contract, and I'm talking about like the first few paragraphs, not even the scope of work part or the deliverables. This is like the standard language. The beginning of the standard language of the contract is taken directly from the proposal.
I'll take a look at that contract and explain it a little more. I don't have the contract in front of me. But what we normally do is we have our standard contract that has everything in it that we need in it as a city. And so whenever we receive a proposal for any type, be it this type of contract or a lawn maintenance contract, we take the information from the proposal that's been agreed upon by staff and stick it into the contract so that we can stay standard. But I'll take a look at this particular contract and give you an explanation about this particular contract.
Yeah, I can understand parts of the scope being
Yes,
in
ma'am.
it, but the standard, supposed to be standard language coming directly from the proposal that I don't typically see it being, it was almost like a duplicate.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Are there any for Mr. Lane? Thank you, sir, again for your
Thank you,
presentation.
thank
We
you,
really
thank you.
appreciate it. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Resolution number 2025-09, extension of the submission deadline for unsolicited proposals for the property located at 1851 Broadway. The acceptance of public comment cards are now closed. Madam Chair, we have no comment cards.
Mr. Mercius?
Okay, so at our last meeting, for the 1851 property, a decision was made, a direction was given by the board to create a 30-day addendum for the 1851 property, a notice of disposition. Since then, we have worked on that notice of disposition addendum, and we have brought it back to the floor for the board to review because we're looking to go ahead and make sure that we've notified it properly on our agenda to make sure everyone can opine on it and it's something that we can go forward on. So I have Chris Smith here for our counsel for our CRA to explain better, more or less what those measures were for that addendum, for that 30-day addendum. Thank you, Chris.
Madam Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, as explained, so at the last meeting, the window was supposed to close May 19th, but with new board members, and it was discussed last meeting that we should extend it for 30 days. So we're still within that window and can extend for 30 days, which will take us to June 18th. And what we wanted to do is put it as a resolution in this agenda because at the last meeting, it wasn't agenda. That was brought up as a discussion, then the decision was made. By doing it as a resolution, this takes care of any notice requirements or any other legal concerns we may have going forward without missing any days um, that this council wanted. We also within, well, that's the resolution, but we consulted and expanded the solicitation to more venues because it was also discussed by this council that they wanted the solicitation to go to a broader audience. And so with the 30-day window that we're adding to it, we'll increase it with the Palm Beach Post, but we've added through contractual ways, we'll add more venues in which we advertise.
Okay, yes,
Uh,
okay. Are there
Madam
any
Chair.
other questions in regards to this item?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
Uh, One of the things that we discussed at the last meeting was to also spread the net nationwide. Have we identified how we're going to do that?
Yes, I've talked, well, Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
I've talked to our procurement director, and our procurement director has identified specific publications along with our BidNet platform where developers can go into that platform and take a look at different solicitations or dispositions. So we're scheduling something where we're scheduling to hopefully, even though it's not a city procurement item, it is a CRA procurement item, but we're looking for ways to advertise that on BidNet. We're also looking for different ways that we can advertise that with different publications throughout the country as well.
When you said looking at ways.
Well, excuse me, that's my vernacular. I'm sorry about that, but we are inquiring about ways how we can include that disposition into different spaces of publications, along with website platforms and everything. Thus far, we've used our local Palm Beach Post newspaper, along with the Orlando Sentinel, along with our FRA community redevelopment website, the state website as well, for this notice of disposition.
Okay. Um, my question was, have you identified the sources by which you would advertise nationwide? I know you're inquiring, and now I want to know, have you identified how you're going to do it?
Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
We haven't identified those sources as of yet, but we're on it. We are continuously taking a look at what those sources or what those publications will be, and we'll move forward with that process.
Oh, Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
how long do you think it's going to take to identify national publication like National Developers Association website, builders websites? I mean,
Should
all of these industries have oftentimes national associations.
Mhm.
Most do. So I'm wondering what the challenge is to identify how to advertise nationwide.
There's no challenge, sir. It's more or less looking to identify those spaces. Many of those publications, when you're talking about a notice of disposition, they may take regular RFPs, requests for proposals, or different type of solicitations, but they usually don't deal with the notice of sale for land. That's a specialized type of publication that we need to identify, and that's where some of the some of the issues may come about. But we'll continue to look, and we'll look to go ahead and have that by the end of the week next week.
Madam Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. One of the things I used to do, I used to be the Director of Governmental Affairs for the Gold Coast Builders Association. And in that capacity, I used to do lobbying and everything. But I know that I've never known them to restrict an opportunity for them to potentially get a job or work in the industry. So you indicated that some um, associations may restrict this type of notice. That's new to me, but that may be the case. Um, I will hope that we expedite this process to find a national publication. Or not just a publication, or some venue. I'm a little baffled that it's taken so long. So, the other thing I want to say is, for us as a CRA, I did this because competition will put us in a better position to negotiate. We live in a capitalistic society. Competition is what drives us. And if there are others out there who may have an interest, it will put us in a better position of strength with whoever we decide to negotiate with. So there's a method to the madness, and we need to understand that we need to be in the driver's seat. And we need to talk to more than one company, if there are those that are interested. But we don't know because we're not out there advertising it. So, we need to find a national venue that we're going to advertise on, and I think we can do that more quickly than next week.
Chair,
Go ahead.
I'll get it done tomorrow.
Thank you. That's all I have.
All right,
Madam
very
Chair,
good. Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Spiritus, you always talk about your development background. You don't have any recommendations for Mr. Jadell?
I can give them a recommendation. The New York Times has a real estate section that goes out to developers. They email it to most developers that subscribe, and most developers, major developers, do subscribe to that. So you might want to check with the New York Times.
Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, Commissioner.
This is the portion of our public comments.
But I think we need to vote on this. We didn't put a motion on the floor.
Oh, we don't need to vote on this. This is a discussion.
Yes, ma'am, it's a resolution for you to vote
Yeah.
on.
Why is it under discussion?
It's a resolution.
All right, go ahead, make a motion.
Move. I don't have the resolution number.
Wait, hold on, Mr. Guyton.
I'm sorry.
Just, pull it up and read it. Madam Clerk, read the resolution.
Caption.
I mean, read the
Caption.
the caption of it.
Resolution number 2025-09, the extension of submission deadline for unsolicited proposals for the property located at 1851 Broadway.
I move that we approve the amendment that has been submitted to us for consideration to extend it 30 days.
Second. Any discussion?
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
if we have a resolution, it should be written out on the, as it is, like you just read it. I understand, it's obvious we're gonna discuss it, but if you actually have a resolution, it should be written up there so that you can then read it into the record, and then we can either approve it or not, make a motion to approve or not. But it gives the impression that this is just a discussion, by
Yeah.
it not being there.
It should have been listed under the regular agenda
I agree.
and not as a discussion item. With that being said, any other questions in regards to this item? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Davis Panir,
Yes.
Commissioner Guyton,
Yes.
Vice Chair Miller Anderson, Commissioner Spiritus,
No, for the same reasons as last time.
Chair Lanier,
Yes.
That vote passes 4-1 with Commissioner Spiritus dissenting.
Chair,
Yes,
before
go
we move
ahead.
on, I'd like to say something regarding this item.
Sure.
Understanding that this item and understanding what Commissioner is saying about what casting a wider net and wanting more individuals to at least at the minimum take a look at this development opportunity. I would like to at least exclaim that, it's important that we all understand that we're in the middle of uncertain financial times, a lot of volatility in the market. And I'd like to make sure that we all understand that time is of the essence, especially when we're dealing with these potential large development projects. When we take a look at these development projects, anything within the news, anything within our current state can sway specific projects. So I don't want that to happen with any of the projects. I know it's within my job and my purview to talk to the board and establish that. So I wanted to make sure that at least at the minimum, I at least iterated that. Thank you.
Yes, gotcha.
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
let me also reiterate that it is important that if there are others that may be interested in it, that they have an opportunity. And 30 days is not 2 years.
Yes, sir.
We're not talking about a significant amount of time where um, that can potentially be significant fluctuation. So I don't want to give people this impression like 30 days that we're going to miss a lot.
Right.
That's not the case.
Understood, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
as a developer and someone who's built in good times and bad times, I can assure you that one day, 24 hours can make a difference of whether or not you're going to get financing or whether you're going to have a successful project.
Okay. Public comments. Public comment shall begin at 7:30 p.m. unless there's no further business of the CRA commissioners. Excuse me. Which in the event shall begin sooner. In addition, if an item is being considered at 7:30, then comments from the public shall be immediately after the item has concluded. Madam Clerk, do we have any public comments?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
we have 3 comment cards.
Okay.
Delcia Brooks, followed by Dr. Edwina Osborne.
Good evening, Council, Madam Chair, Mayor Lawson, Mr. Mercius. My name is Delcia Brooks Hamilton. I am the CEO of Pangea Grill, a small business woman-owned in the county. I just wanted to commend Mr. Long for taking the initiative to equip minority businesses in the county because it's long overdue. And I was having a conversation with someone last week referencing the amount of Black businesses or even homes that are owned by minorities or Black African Americans. And at some point, as of 2 years ago, that percentage was 19%. It's not, I understand that it's gone down now to 15% of Black businesses or even homes in this county, which is really a shame, especially in Riviera Beach, which is 70% African American. I really shouldn't say African Americans because you have people in Riviera Beach that come from all over the Caribbean and so on. So I commend Mr. Long for taking the initiative to prepare our Black people to own businesses in this county. The purpose of me speaking tonight is because I want to make sure that I am included in this new process. I have submitted my unsolicited proposal and I haven't really gotten a response. So, for the record, I'd like to get a response on that and where do I stand in the process. I've been at this far too long, and I too have gone through a situation wherein I'm prepared, I have the funding, but yet here it is. I'm still here looking to do business with the city that I love so much, we talk about is the city where, to work, live and play. How about the city that we can do some business? You know, I'm ready, and I need the support to move forward. And I'm looking for the support of council, Mr. Mercius. I have contacted you and spoken to you many times, and I'd like to know where we stand on that because, here it is. Others are given the opportunity, and I'm here to say I have been here way before, other individuals. So I'd like to be treated with the same level of respect as a business owner. I have owned many businesses and I'd like to do business in Riviera Beach.
For
So
your
thank you very
comments.
much.
Thank you.
And Madam Chair, before the next
Yes, go ahead.
speaker, Mr. Mercier,
Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
have you received unsolicited proposal from her about anything?
Chair?
Yes.
I have, and I've responded to her and I've discussed with her about her situation on several occasions.
Okay, you have responded.
Yes,
I'd like a copy of that response
will do.
tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Dr. Edwina Osborne, followed by Miss Mary Bram.
Good evening.
Edwina Osborne, and it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you all for having me. Giving honor to the mayor and to the council persons and each of you in your respective place. Just going to be really brief. I know my husband said, they have the timer. So yes, I see they have a timer. I grew up in Riviera Beach. Have been here most of my life, other than working at the Space Center for 7 years. Then I returned back to Riviera Beach. I taught 32 of my 33 years at John F. Kennedy and Riviera Beach Prep. My husband was a firefighter and fire captain for 30 years in Riviera Beach. So we are homegrown Riviera Beach residents. I ran into Shed and just kind of was having a casual conversation with him, and he was telling me how, you know, you want to have a business? Yes, I want to have a business right here in Riviera Beach. So he mentioned the redevelopment, community redevelopment agency. We appreciate what you're doing, Shed. Has been amazing. I will be graduating from the boot camp next Tuesday. So if you would like to come as my special guest, let me know so I can have enough food prepared for you. So we do have the graduation next week. And also we went to a franchise class down in Miami. So the training is forthgoing. And we really hope that we will have your support to launch a business right in Riviera Beach because our four children were raised here. My family, my mom had 10, my husband's mom had 9. But, we don't really have, I know I'm telling our business, but we don't really have much to show for what we've done here in Riviera Beach. My family, his family, it's time. So we really appreciate the support that we're going to have from you. And Shed has been, he's commendable. I mean, I just, anything that I've needed, I've called him late at night. I've called him early in the day. I've called him. So I'm just grateful that you all have him to work with us because I didn't know what to do. But from the boot camp, there are banks, there are attorneys, and a lot of valuable information that we are acquiring from going through the boot camp. And basically, I'm just soliciting or asking for your support as we launch the business in Riviera Beach. There are certain franchises, a lot of franchises. So we're taking a look at a couple of them, and it's time for us to. Riviera Beach is a great city to live, work, and play in. That's what we say, right? So we want to be a part of that vision that we have here in Riviera Beach. Thank you so much, Dr. Osborne. Looking forward to moving forward with a business in Riviera Beach. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Miss Mary Bram.
Mayor Brand Riviera Beach, to the chair and to the board in its entirety. Um, I have a question, and perhaps you can answer it later. Mr. Lang, I've known Mr. Lang, and he had that entrepreneur business on Blue Heron there. So I'm quite sure that he is totally impacted in how to make them arrive and succeed into where they need to be. So often I look at the entrepreneurs that are in this city, and I'm going to say one that is told, and that's Terry DeBarber. I do not want you just to arrive, but I want you to thrive. I want you to thrive. If an investment is going to be given out here, when much is given, much should be received and put back. So I wanted to leave you with that. And I think that that will be a tool as well as a stepping stone for you can see how the others that have been landed here for years and years and years. It was not easy for them, but they stayed the task. Is this just for the CRA or is it for any business in the entire city here? So you can answer that for me lastly. You know, how exactly who will benefit this? Because I know it is some business along the Dixie Highway there too, you know, that need to become a part of the thriving institute here that we would have here. To you developers, Ms. Graham, as long with the general public, we want you to bring your A+ game on here to get us moving in this city. We have so many acres here to be developed, and we do not have time. And I want you as a board here not to labor this here neither. Get the most experienced, qualified, skill set, whoever it may be, to move this city forward here. I'm proud of what we did here in this event center here because you're sitting here on the backs of Bruce Guy, Ms. Brown, and Emma Banks. And he can attest to that because we had to do these things here. And we could have been further because we let all attitudes get in the way. And that's not the way to do a business. So I'm asking the board to look into this. And you all started to show yourselves approved too, to move this development on in this city here. You all experienced professionals. You got your work cut out. So Ms. Brown expect for that to be
Much
done
for your comments.
as well as others. And
Thank you so much. The next item on our agenda, is that the public comment?
Madam Chair, that is the end of comment cards.
Discussion by Executive Director.
So I sent a 100-day memo to all of you for review. And within that 100-day memo, I know some time has lapsed. That 100-day memo highlights more or less certain things that I've done within that time frame or we've done as a team within our CRA department. Also, with the focus on what we plan to do in the future as well. I like to say a few things in regards to that first 100 days and how I've learned to impact within the city as well. So during my first few months, I took time to understand the business community and understand what was going on in the business community and what we as stakeholders needed to move forth on. With that in mind, understanding that there are specific solicitations that needed to take place, along with different things that needed mended. Within that time frame, I understood that the role of my team within that organization, and I want to thank my team for sticking with me and holding me accountable and trusting me as a leader as well. As we move forward with the first 100 days, my next 100 days, I'd like to focus on our wayfinding program, our transportation mobility program, along with the revamping of our community grant programs, our Tiki Market revamp, our continuation of business support services, building relationships with the Port of Palm Beach, preparing ourselves with the Marina Village Phase 2 and closing out Phase 1, and discussing with you on a regular basis your vision of the CRA as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any way that you can put that 100-day report on CRA's website
Absolutely.
for the public?
Will do.
Thank you. General Counsel?
Madam Chair, if I can just take a moment. I know that our organization, the Pittman Law Group, is your Tallahassee lobbyist also, so they'll give a more in-depth conversation about legislative session. But I want to take a brief moment to talk about the CRA bill that we were so concerned about this year. The legislative session ended 2 weeks ago, and the CRA bill did not pass, thank God. There was a very draconian bill, and the one thing they did that would affect us, it prohibited any new projects after October 1st of this year. It would have basically ended us trying to redevelop the waterfront. Now, the reason I bring that up is because in Tallahassee, if something doesn't pass one year, it comes back the next year. So session will be January and February next year because it's an election year. And so I would recommend that we really expedite, and been working with the executive director, expedite any big projects that we have, and that we get into those projects and get them papered before at least March or April of next year, in case this bill comes back and they try that again, because it's going to really be hard to do large projects if this bill passes next year. I don't know if it's going to pass because there seems to be a lot of interplay in Tallahassee, but we dodged the bullet this year and we can't count on dodging it next year. So I would just recommend that we expedite any large projects we have. Let's try and get them done within the next 9, 10 months, or at least get them papered within the next 9 or 10 months.
Thank you. Statements from the commission. Commissioner Spiritus,
Nothing, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Panier.
Just want to remind the community that this week is Mental Health Awareness Week, and I did a post that if you or you know someone who needs any support, please use the resource 211 for free and confidential help connecting to mental health services, crisis counselors, and any community resources you may need. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Two quick things. Director Mercies, if you could send that and forward that 100-day plan. I didn't see it in my email, but forward that over to my office as well. And then colleagues, please check your email because there was an incident with Brightline and the pedestrian that Mr. Evans had forwarded out to us just recently. So residents, please be careful. Whatever updates we receive, we'll make sure that the city is advertising and posting that. And this Monday, we will be having our education listening tour right here in the marina, 6 p.m. to 7:30. Please be on time. We will start promptly. We will actually have our moderator will be actually Ms. Kendra Western that will be moderating the workshop. It's going to be a listening tour to listen about everything education. We're going to have every educator here of every principal from every school. So I want the residents to be engaged with education, the direction of education growth for K through 12, and also collegiate age. So please be here 6 p.m. on Monday.
Thank you. Commissioner Guy?
No comments.
Commissioner Miller Anderson?
For the property where Smoothie Me Please was, are we doing anything with that in the meantime, or are we just gonna kind of lump it in with the other piece of property that is going to be developed?
Yeah,
Yes, go ahead.
so the latter is correct. We're going to, we're in the middle of agreements with Exact Capital for that 2600, 2601 space. And that Smoothie Me location is a part of that space. So it's getting ready to be demoed at some point, and we will be moving forward with that.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. I have no comments. This meeting is adjourned.